Hey everyone, welcome back. In this series of videos, I'll be covering top behavioral interview questions and answers for software testers or software engineers. So these questions that I'm covering will be generic to the software industry. So whether it's developer or tester, basically any behavioral question that is being asked in the interview rounds, in technical interviews, I'll be covering those in this particular series. As part of this video, there are a couple of questions that I have been asked by the subscribers. So I have taken some of the questions from the subscribers and then some I have collated myself. So in this video, I'll be covering top 5, and then in the series of videos, I'll be covering more behavioral interview questions and how you are going to tackle those questions and provide the answers according to the question that is being asked. So let's get started. So the first question that I want to cover is basically, how do you organize your work? Now, this is the question that has been asked by one of the subscribers, and I highly recommend you guys, if you're watching this, if you have been asked any interview questions, whether it's technical or behavioral, go ahead in the comment section, add those questions, and I'll pick those questions as and when I keep creating more interview question series, right? So first question, how do you organize your work? Now, purpose of this question is basically to understand your organizing and prioritizing capability. Whether you are a person that, if say for example, given particular task or the work, whether you will be able to organize them, prioritize them properly and deliver it. Organizing your work, this capability, or making sure that you are a person who is well organized, will be able to do tasks and prioritize accordingly. That's what the person who is interviewing you is trying to understand, because person who is not organized, somebody has to always go ahead. For example, it's an overhead for the company and the team to have you there, because then somebody has to always keep monitoring you, micromanaging you, assigning tasks, and then ensuring that you are doing it or not. So that's the purpose of this question, right? Now, understanding the purpose is important, because only then you will be able to understand what you need to change in yourself and how you are going to be more organized, as well as answer this particular question, right? So first thing, how do you organize your work? So there are a couple of points that you have to make sure that you mention in this particular answer. The first thing is that I create a to-do list. So basically, as and when or whenever I am part of a particular team or project, whatever tasks that are being allocated or assigned, right? So as a team member, you won't be just going ahead and grabbing tasks yourself. So there'll be some sort of a planning that happens, and as part of the planning, you will be allocated the piece of work. As a tester, you will be allocated certain user stories or the requirement that you are going to test. As a developer, you are going to be allocated some of the user stories or the work tasks that you are going to develop. Now, as a software engineer, you will go ahead and create a to-do list of what needs to be done. Now, when we say to-do list, as a tester, you will make sure whatever user stories are allocated, you then break them down into the tasks. Now, if you're using Jira, I'll go ahead and create the subtasks against the work item. So basically, if say for example, you can take this example. As part of the team, wherever I'm working, I'll be allocated, or as part of the planning activity, there will be certain user stories that will be assigned to me, and those will be allocated to me in Jira by the lead or manager. And now from there on, what I'll do is I'll make sure that I create the subtasks within Jira against those user stories for whatever needs to be done against those user stories. For example, documenting the test cases, creating the test data, setting up the test environment, or coordinating to set up the test environment for execution, right? So I'll create subtasks or a to-do list, which is basically a to-do list against those user stories, which will ensure that yes, my piece of work will be done when I finish this to-do list or the subtask that I create against those user stories. So I'll do that. So that's the to-do list. Now the next thing is, I'll go ahead and prioritize, right? Now prioritization is on me. I won't go back to the team lead back and forth. I'm a person, if assigned if things are assigned to me, and as part of planning, I know the priority of the user stories, and accordingly, I'll make my tasks or I'll make my work items, which are testing related work items, priority accordingly, and will ensure that the tasks or the to-do list that I have created is done in that priority order. And I'll also communicate and collaborate with the team members and managers and ensure and mention to them on a daily basis, because in the daily stand-ups, if you are following Scrum, that this is my priority of work. I'm following the same priority order as assigned into the user stories, right? That's the second bit. Now, the third bit is basically whenever I'm working on the tasks, I'll time box, right? So I won't burn out myself just continuously working, because when you're continuously working, you are not time boxing, you are not very much productive, right? So that's one of the things that you can add as well, that I'll time box my task. For example, for a particular user story, I'm documenting the test cases. So I'll time box, I'll work for 30 minutes, I'll document. That will give me a better thought process to document and think for the scenarios or the test cases that I need to write against a particular user story. Then I'll take a break. Regular break is important for me as a tester to think in a holistic way and come up with the better testing scenarios and the test cases, right? So that's couple of other points that you can mention, that how you are going to organize your work. So time boxing, taking breaks, right? And then the next thing you can mention is that many people, so for example, myself, I'm not very good at multitasking, right? So I'll avoid multitasking. So if you're same kind of person, you can't work on 5 different user stories all at once, that you are documenting the test cases for all of them together, which is very difficult for most of the people. But if you are good at it, you can highlight that I'll do multitasking. But personally, I won't do multitasking. I'll ensure that one priority task is completed, and then I'll move to the other one and finish one by one. I'll take step by step to complete the to-do list or the work items that I have created. So this is basically, a couple of points that you can mention how you're going to organize your work. Okay. First thing is you'll create the to-do list or the subtask in the Jira. Take the same priority or fall back on the same priority that is assigned to the user story by the whole team. And based on that, you will continuously work on one piece at a time, take regular breaks, and try to finish the assigned work item using your organization techniques and not relying on someone continuously following you up. Where are you at? What are you doing? Right? So you're not that sort of person. That's what the interviewer wants to understand, whether you will be able to independently handle the work items and the tasks that are assigned to you. Okay. So that's the first question. The second one, what are you looking for in your next role? Okay. So the second question is more towards why you are looking for your next role, and then what exactly you're looking in your next role. So here you have to make sure that you do not go ahead and say, for example, the monetary benefit, right? So anyone switching the job, monetary benefit is one of the very key reason, right? Even though you are absolutely happy with the current place in terms of learning opportunities, if you're not paid well, you will go ahead and look for better opportunities in terms of monetary benefit. Still, you do not have to mention that in this particular question, that monetary benefit you could add just a minor point at last, you could, but I'll recommend not to mention it. There are many other points that you can go ahead and mention there. So what am I looking in my next role? So I'm absolutely happy. You can start something like this. I'm happy with what role or with the current organization. However, in terms of learning opportunities, I want to take more challenging role wherein I can grow more personally and professionally and learn more recent cutting edge technology, right? So in my current role, that the learning opportunities are very limited, and that is one of the very key reason that I'm looking for new role. Because of these limited opportunities, I am not able to learn more with on the recent technologies and won't be able to grow more. So that is why I'm looking for this particular organization, because I understand, I have learned that your organization works on the recent technologies, and I'll have ample opportunities there to learn from the colleagues if I join your organization and grow technically in my next role. So that's one of the key reasons. The next thing, I'm looking for good team culture, good work environment. So that is also very important for me for overall to look for not only just the work, but I am also looking for good team culture, collaborative team environment, so that enhances or that will help me to go ahead and talk to new people, get help from new people. If the team is collaborative, team is helpful, then I'll be able to learn more. So that is what I'm looking for in the next role in your organization. I know your organization has some of the very good team culture, collaborative team environment. You're working on latest technologies. That is one of the these are some of the reasons that I want to switch, or I'm applying for this particular role and I'm looking for in my next role. Okay, so that's something you can mention for this particular question. Now the third question, how will you communicate with different teams or with other team members? Okay, so this is again the question from one of the subscribers. So how will you communicate with different teams or with other team members? Right now here the interviewer asks this question to understand whether you will be able to communicate, collaborate with the team member, get what exactly you want to succeed in this particular role and in the organization or not, right? Whether you are able to communicate, ask questions, go to people for help. These are some of the key things that they are looking at. So how will I go ahead and communicate with different teams? There are multiple paths that you can take, right? So in terms of answering, how will I go ahead and communicate with different teams or with the team members? So within the team member, there are two questions here, with other team members and different teams. Okay. So with other team members, now as part of the team, as and when I join, I'll make sure that I build a rapport with all the team members by introducing myself. I'll go ahead and anyways, as part of the team, there'll be an introduction round. I'll introduce myself and I'll go ahead and personally connect with each of the team members and have a bit of a personal connect with the team members and understand what everyone is working on, and that will help me to build a initial sort of a rapport with the team members. Okay, now that's one thing. So I'll go ahead and have the face-to-face conversation because that is the best way to communicate. All right, now the other thing is, how will I go ahead and communicate with other different teams? So with the wider teams or the broader teams. So for example, you are part of a team A and you have to communicate with other n number of team members or which are part of other teams. There are different ways basically. So first thing is you go ahead and there are chat tools wherein I'll go ahead and schedule a meeting. Okay, so face-to-face meeting, whether it's Teams meeting or it's a meeting, face-to-face meeting in a meeting room. So I'll organize that. If there is a need with the other team to communicate for a particular task, I'll take official route rather than randomly pinging and asking for help unless and until I build the rapport, right? So here the important bit is that you will go ahead with the immediate team members. It's fine and good to go ahead and straight away start communicating. Now with the wider team, because other team members have their own priorities, so you have to ensure that you are taking proper route, making sure that you are booking the time that is available in their calendar, and then ensuring that you make face-to-face communication, whether it's Teams call, any video, a chat call, or face-to-face meeting in the meeting room. That will help me to build a rapport with the team member, and next time or in future I'll be having more flexible ways to communicate. I can straight away then go ahead and ping because I have built rapport anyways, and will try to help each other. If other team members comes ahead and asks help from me, I'll go ahead and provide the help, and similar way I'll go ahead and communicate. So within the team, it will be more of introducing yourself, understanding the team members, and then making sure that when you approach the team member, asking that they are free, okay, and not disturbing if they are busy in some critical tasks. If that's the case, then taking the proper route, making sure the calendar is free, booking the time, and then communicating, right? So communication face-to-face via email. Email should be the last one. So in this particular question, the important bit is building rapport, face-to-face communication, taking the proper route of looking at the free time of the team members if you need something from them, whether it's your own team member or the different team members, right? So that is something, that approach that I'll take, rather than randomly pinging, dropping an email and then forgetting about things, right? So if that's the approach that you'll take, that is something that the interviewer doesn't want to appreciate, because your email communications, email trails back and forth is going to delay the tasks and the work item, right? So the best way to communicate is to face through the proper channel, building the rapport, and then ensuring you as a team member and as a wider team with different team are working collaboratively to finish the work item, right? So that's how you are going to formulate the answer and provide answer for the team, how you're going to communicate with different teams. Okay, so moving on to the fourth question, which is again from the subscriber. If you get extra task by manager and you don't have enough time to complete it, how will you manage it? Okay, again, this is a time management task, or the interviewer wants whether in case you have a lot of extra work but you have limited time, how you are going to manage that particular pressure of completing the work that is being assigned by your manager. Okay, so first thing is, here you do not have enough time but you have been asked to do extra tasks. So couple of things are required in this particular question. First thing is, interviewer wants to understand whether you are flexible enough to take the extra task, and if required, whether you are flexible enough to stretch your time for completing those extra tasks. Okay, so that's the important bit that interviewer wants to understand. So here you can start answering something like that. This is very common scenario, right? So getting extra task, or based on the priority, there might be, say for example, I'm working on something and there is other high priority work item, or there is some production issue that came in and I have to go ahead and then test that particular fix. These kind of things have already happened with me in the past, and I have been assigned extra work based on the criticality and the priority, right? So in that particular case, if there is something extra, some extra task that is being assigned by my manager to me, I'll have a clear conversation during that same meeting with my manager and will ask about the priority of the new work item that is being assigned to me by the manager. So in case the manager is assigning some extra task and then just saying, okay, you get it done, I'll first make sure whether that needs to get done by end of today, by end of this week, by end of next sprint, what exactly is the time frame. So that's something which I'll ask from my manager. If that is the priority, that this work item needs to be done by today, then I'll ensure that, okay, this is the highest priority. Currently I was working on this, I'll deprioritize this for tomorrow, or I'll stop working on this, I'll pick this one and I'll move this one to be worked on tomorrow, right? So if manager agrees on that, absolutely fine, I'll start working on this extra task, okay, and move the next one to be done next time, right? Now here it could be a possibility that the extra task also is important, whatever needs to be done is also important, and both needs to be done today itself. All right, because it could be possibility that there is not enough time, everything needs to be done by today or by end of this week. If that's the case, yes, absolutely fine. I'm flexible enough to stretch couple of hours until this week or for today, until the current task that is being assigned by manager and the existing task that I'm working, until that gets done. I'm flexible enough in these critical situations to stretch myself and finish the tasks, and then I'll go, right? So these are a couple of points that you have to make sure you have to. So interviewer wants to understand whether you are able to prioritize, whether you will be able to communicate and collaborate with the manager to understand the priority when the delivery is wanted, okay, and accordingly as per the delivery is required, whether you are able to prioritize, complete the work, and if it is urgent, whether you will be able to stretch the time and finish everything, right? So the flexibility is judged here as part of this particular question, how flexible you are in case there is critical need, whether you will stretch or you won't. Okay, so that's the fourth question. Now coming to the fifth one, why do you want to leave your current job? Okay, very common interview question. Now here I touched briefly on the current job, basically why you're looking for, what you're looking for in your next role, something on a similar line. Even though you are leaving your current job just because of money reasons, okay, everything else could be absolutely fine. You have great team culture, you have great teammates, you have a lot of learning opportunities, but if you are paid, half of what market rate is, you are obviously leaving for money, right? You are obviously moving for money in the next role. No harm in it, right? Every business, everyone is working for money because that is the basic need for you to go ahead and sustain in the current market scenario. As the inflation goes, you have to make sure that your earning also grows in that particular pattern. Otherwise you will be struggling in terms of finances, right? So that could be one of the only reasons, for example, but still you do not have to go ahead and mention that is the only reason. Okay, why do I want to leave my current job? The answer here is I'm absolutely happy with my current job. Okay, so you mentioned that you are happy with your current role, with your current job. However, I do not have enough learning opportunities and growth opportunities technically anymore in my current role and organization, right? Because the technology they are working, I have been working on that for quite a while, and now there are not much opportunities to learn more latest technologies because they are working on this particular technology which I have already learned. I want to make sure that I grow professionally in my new role and I learn more cutting edge technology, and that is why I want to move to a new organization like yours, wherein I can go ahead and build my technical skills with the latest trends and technology trends that are going on, right? So that's one of the reasons. Along with that, I'm also looking for great team culture and collaborative team environment, because that is the thing that is going to help me to collaborate with the team members and other teams in a more free way, and that will enhance my technical learning because I'll be collaborating more, having more opportunities with other team members and with other team projects and current team project, and will be learning a lot more with the team members in your organization. So these are a couple of reasons that you can mention why you want to leave your current job. Not the money, keep the money part aside. Just mention that in your current role, you have your job role is stagnant, you do not have much learning opportunities left, you are not growing technically more. Now in the new role, you want to grow technically, you want to learn new technologies, and you want to have more collaborative and supportive team that will help you to basically go ahead and learn and work on latest technology. So these are the 5 questions that I have covered in this particular video. In the upcoming video, I'll take more questions, so feel free to comment in the comment section if you have any specific question that that you want me to cover as part of the next video, and I'll keep creating video series on the interview questions in upcoming videos. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.